There is a version of New York City that tourists take pictures of. Times Square glowing like an electric fever dream. Soho windows full of clothes nobody can afford. The Met steps crowded with people pretending not to wait for celebrities. Fifth Avenue shining so bright at night that even the shadows look expensive. But there is another New York. The one behind freight elevators, the one under private showrooms, the one where black SUVs idle outside buildings with no signs, and men with earpieces look through you like your name is already on a list somewhere. That is the New York I accidentally walked into. And I promise you, if I had known what was waiting behind those velvet ropes, I would have stayed home. My name is Darius Bell, and at the time I was 23, broke, hungry, and convinced that being close to success was the same thing as becoming successful. That was my first mistake. My best friend Niko was worse than me. He had the confidence of a man who had never been invited anywhere but still walked into every room like people had been waiting for him. He worked part-time at a sneaker store in Soho and spent the rest of his life trying to get into events where photographers took pictures of people nobody could identify, but everyone pretended to know. Fashion week parties, brand launches, gallery openings, rooftop mixers, anything with a step-and-repeat banner and free champagne. One Friday in September, right when New York Fashion Week had the whole city acting like a runway, Niko called me. "Put on black," he said. "That's it. Black pants, black shirt, clean shoes. Look mysterious but not unemployed." Niko. "Darius, I found our way in." "Into what?" He paused like he was about to tell me we'd been accepted into heaven. "The private Veyra Holt showcase." I knew the name. Everybody knew the name. Veyra Holt was not just a designer. She was an empire wearing sunglasses indoors. Her brand, House of Holt, dressed actresses, musicians, billionaires' daughters, tech CEOs, and people who looked famous even if they had done nothing but inherit a last name. Her clothes were impossible to ignore. Dresses that looked poured instead of sewn. Coats that moved like smoke. Gloves so delicate they looked painted onto the hand. People online said she did not design fashion. She designed new bodies. The showcase was rumored to be invite-only, not celebrity invite-only. Higher than that. No live stream, no official press, no public photos unless her team released them. The kind of event where simply being seen near the entrance could make someone important. Ask who you were. "How?" I asked. Niko laughed. "You asked too many questions." That was his gift and his curse. He could make bad judgment sound like faith. He told me he had met a production assistant outside a showroom in Tribeca. She had complained about needing extra hands for a corporate fashion event near Hudson Yards. Niko had helped carry garment racks into a van, got friendly with her, and somehow ended up with 2 staff wristbands. "Staff?" I said. "Temporary support?" "So we're working?" "No," he said. "We are blending." The event was at an old industrial building near the far west side, not far from the High Line, in that strange part of Manhattan where luxury towers rise over old loading docks, like glass teeth growing out of concrete gums. The building had no brand name outside, just black fabric covering the entrance, security in tailored coats, and a line of black cars delivering people who stepped out like they had been born bored. Niko and I walked toward the staff entrance around the side. My heart was beating hard enough to wrinkle my shirt. "Act tired," Niko whispered. "What?" "Important people act bored. Staff act tired. We need to act like we belong." So we did. We kept our eyes forward, showed the wristbands, walked past the guard, and just like that, we were inside. That was my second mistake. The backstage area looked like a hospital had married a nightclub. White walls, black floors, harsh lights, rolling mirrors, garment racks sealed in translucent covers, assistants whispering into headsets, models sitting silently while makeup artists painted their faces pale and perfect. There was no chaos. That bothered me. Every fashion event I had ever seen online looked frantic behind the scenes. People rushing, yelling, steaming clothes, touching up makeup, fixing shoes, panicking over zippers. Here, everyone moved softly, carefully, like noise itself could get you removed. A woman with a clipboard walked up to us. She had sharp cheekbones, silver blonde hair, and a black suit, so perfectly fitted, it made everyone else look unfinished. "You're late," she said. Niko answered before I could. "Delivery delay on 34th. She stared at him. It was a terrible lie, but she accepted it. "Names?" Niko blinked. For 1 second, I saw panic flash across his face like lightning behind curtains. Then he smiled. "North Team." The woman glanced at the clipboard. "There is no North Team." My stomach dropped. Then she looked at our wrists. "But there is Overflow." "Fine. You two are with Containment." "Containment?" I said. Her eyes moved to me. "Garment Containment. Don't repeat questions. Follow me." She led us through a narrow hallway into a room where several covered racks waited behind a locked glass partition. A man inside wore white gloves and a mask over his mouth. He was writing numbers on tags. The woman unlocked the door. "You touch nothing with bare hands," she said. "You speak to no model unless spoken to. You do not open sealed cases. If a guest asks what material they're seeing tonight, the answer is bio-luxury composite." Niko nodded like that meant anything. "Yes, ma'am." "My name is Mara." "Yes, Mara." She did not like that either. She handed us gloves. The covered pieces on the racks were heavy. Too heavy for silk. Too soft for leather. When I lifted one garment bag, the material inside shifted slowly, almost reluctantly, like something waking up from a dream. I told myself it was, expensive fabric. I told myself rich people always made ordinary things feel strange. Then I saw the first model. She stood at the far end of the hall, surrounded by dressers. She was tall, slender, and stunning in that unreal way. High fashion models are stunning, like God had sketched her with a ruler. But her eyes were wrong. Not scared, exactly. Empty. She wore a floor-length coat the color of candle wax. It fit her too perfectly. The collar rose around her neck like a second spine. The sleeves seemed seamless, no stitching, no hem, no visible closure. A dresser brushed lint from the shoulder. The coat moved. Not a lot, just enough. Like it had taken a breath. I looked at Niko. He had seen it too. "Probably smart fabric," he whispered. "Smart fabric doesn't breathe." He gave me a look that said, "Shut up until we are famous." Beyond the prep area was the main showcase space. It had been built like a corporate cathedral. Rows of black chairs, a runway shaped like a long white blade, screens hanging from the ceiling, glass boxes displaying accessories. On one side, a private lounge glowed gold behind sheer curtains. The guests had already started arriving, and they were exactly who Niko had hoped to see. Magazine editors, celebrity stylists, influencers with millions of followers, actors hiding under hats, music executives, tech founders, a retired supermodel. A famous singer I recognized immediately. surrounded by people pretending not to stare. Niko grabbed my sleeve. "Do you see who that is?" "Yes." "This is it, bro." But something about the room made my excitement curdle. The guests were smiling, but not with surprise. They looked like people returning to a restaurant where they already knew the secret menu. They hugged Mara, kissed cheeks, whispered into ears, slid envelopes into hands. Every now and then someone glanced toward the covered runway pieces with a hunger that did not look like appreciation. Then Veyra Holt entered. The room changed around her. That is the only way I can describe it. Some people enter a room and draw attention. Veyra entered and rearranged the air. She was tall, older than she looked online, with silver black hair pulled into a long braid over one shoulder. She wore a white suit with no shirt beneath the jacket, red gloves and shoes so glossy they reflected the runway lights like wet paint. Her face was beautiful but cold. Not emotionless, worse, controlled. She smiled at the crowd. "Welcome," she said, and every conversation died. Her voice was soft enough to make people lean in. Tonight is not about clothing. Clothing is what people wear when they are afraid to be seen. Tonight is about inheritance, texture, memory, the body as archive. The guests applauded. Not loudly, reverently. Niko whispered, "She's a genius." I whispered back, "She sounds insane." The show began. The first model walked out wearing a dress that shimmered like moonlight trapped underwater. It clung and flowed at the same time. The room seemed to hold its breath. Veyra narrated from the side. Piece 1. The Motherline Gown. Built from preserved cellular material, heirloom silk, and responsive collagen mesh. The guest leaned forward. My hands went cold. Collagen, cellular material, bio-luxury composite. The second model wore gloves that reached her shoulders, pale and smooth and slightly translucent. Under the lights I saw faint patterns in them. Not fabric patterns, pores, tiny lines. The texture of skin. I swallowed hard. No, I thought. No. The third model wore a hooded cape with long golden strands woven into the seams. The hair caught the light beautifully. Too beautifully. It looked freshly brushed. Niko stopped smiling. "Darius," he whispered. "Tell me that's fake." I wanted to, but the words would not come. Then one of the models stumbled, only half a step. The whole room tightened. A dresser near the runway flinched. Mara's head snapped toward the model. Veyra smiled through it, but her eyes sharpened like scissors. The model recovered and kept walking. As she passed us backstage, I saw tears running silently down her face, not ruining her makeup. Her makeup had been designed around them. That was when I knew we had not snuck into an opportunity. We had snuck into a mouth. During the intermission, Mara found us. "You two," she said, "lower level, now." Niko and I followed because running would have been confession. She took us to a freight elevator and pressed a key card against the panel. The elevator descended beneath the building. The air grew colder. When the doors opened, the smell hit me first. Not rotten, not exactly. Sterile, chemical, like a doctor's office trying to cover up a secret. The lower level was a white corridor lined with doors. Each had a small window, but the glass was frosted. Somewhere nearby, a machine hummed steadily. Mara handed Niko a tablet. "Confirm inventory and holding. Veyra wants selections for the after-show appointments." Niko looked at the screen. His face changed. The tablet listed names, ages, measurements, skin tone, hair texture, eye color, distinguishing marks. Under each name was a status: available, reserved, prepared, archived. My throat closed. "Mara," I said carefully, "I think there's been a mistake." She looked at me. For the first time all night, she smiled. "There has." Then she opened the door beside her. Inside were cages. Not animal cages. Clean vertical holding compartments with glass fronts and metal frames, each large enough for a person to stand or sit inside. And there were people in them. Young men, young women, some older, some barely adults. All beautiful in different ways. Perfect skin, thick hair, striking eyes, unusual features. The kind of people fashion scouts would stop on the street. Some stared blankly, some slept. Some pressed their hands against the glass. One girl with waist-length copper hair mouthed 2 words at me. "Help me." Niko stepped backward. Mara touched his shoulder. "You wanted proximity," she said. "This is proximity." I felt the room tilt. One cage had a name printed on a white strip. Isla Reyes. Under it, hair reserved. Another, Marcus Vale, skin panel study. Another, unknown male, high cheekbone structure, hold for review. Then I saw a cage with my name, Darius Bell. The label underneath said, tone compatible. Chest mark confirmed. Face optional. I could not breathe. Niko saw it too. He whispered, "How did they know your chest?" I looked down. When I was a kid, I had a birthmark over my ribs, shaped almost like a crescent moon. Not something anyone would know unless they had seen me shirtless. Then I remembered the staff entrance, the security camera, the wristbands, the way Mara had looked at me like I was not late, like I had arrived. Niko began shaking his head. No, we just came here tonight." Mara's smile widened. "Did you?" The door at the end of the corridor opened. Veyra Holt stepped inside. Behind her stood 2 security guards in black. She looked at me with warm disappointment, the way someone might look at a dog that had chewed through a leash. "Darius," she said, "you were supposed to enjoy the evening longer." Niko moved in front of me. "We don't know anything." Veyra laughed softly. "My dear, everyone says that before they become useful." I looked at the cages again, at the people, at the labels, at the girl mouthing help. "What is this?" I asked. Veyra walked slowly down the corridor, trailing one red-gloved hand along the glass compartments. "This is the end of waste," she said. "Fashion has always lied about material: leather, fur, silk, pearls. The world accepts beauty when the suffering is far enough away. I simply removed the distance." "You're hurting people." "No," she said. "I'm preserving what the world worships before time ruins it." Niko cursed at her. One guard stepped forward. Veyra raised a hand and he stopped. "I admire anger," she said. "It keeps the skin warm." That sentence crawled under my skin and nested there. Then the girl with copper hair slammed her palm against the glass. Mara turned. The distraction was small, but fear makes small openings look like doorways. Niko grabbed the tablet and smashed it into Mara's face. She fell back with a sharp cry. I lunged for the key card hanging from her belt. The guards moved. Everything became noise. Niko shoved one guard into the wall. I got the key card, swiped it against the nearest cage, and the door unlocked with a clean little beep. The copper-haired girl fell out. "Run!" I shouted. Then other hands started pounding glass. I swiped another cage, then another. Doors opened. People spilled into the corridor, weak but desperate, moving like birds escaping a net. Veyra did not scream. She watched. That scared me more than if she'd panicked. Niko grabbed my arm. "Gal, we have to go." We ran toward the elevator, but the doors closed before we reached it. A guard inside looked at us through the narrowing gap. Then the lights went red. A voice came over the speakers. Containment breach. Lower level sealed. People screamed. Some ran in circles, some clawed at doors, some dropped to the floor and cried. The copper-haired girl grabbed my sleeve. Service tunnel, she said. What? There's a service tunnel. Laundry carts. They move people that way when guests stay late. How do you know? Her eyes were hollow. Because I came in that way. She led us through a side door into a narrow utility passage. Pipes ran overhead. The floor sloped downward, then up. Behind us, alarms pulsed like a mechanical heartbeat. We moved fast, too fast for silence. At the end of the passage was a locked metal door. I swiped Mara's key card. Nothing. Swiped again. Nothing. Niko looked back. Footsteps echoed behind us. Darius, he said. The copper-haired girl pointed to a keypad. Try 6 digits. What number? She looked at me strangely. Your wristband. I looked down. Printed beneath the black strip was a tiny number I'd not noticed before. I typed it in. The door unlocked. That should have made no sense. But I was too scared to question a miracle that opened doors. We emerged into a loading bay behind the building. Cold night air hit my face and I almost cried from the simple kindness of it. A few others made it out behind us. Not many. The copper-haired girl ran into the alley and vanished without looking back. Niko and I sprinted toward 10th Avenue. We did not stop until we were blocks away, surrounded by normal New York noise, traffic, laughter, sirens, people arguing over nothing. For the first time all night, the city felt safe. We went to the police, of course we did. We told them everything, the cages, the models, the lower level, the garments, Veyra. By the time officers searched the building, the lower level was empty. No cages, no people, no records, no Veyra. House of Holt released a statement the next morning calling it a targeted harassment campaign by unauthorized trespassers seeking attention during Fashion Week. There was footage of us entering with fake credentials, footage of Niko striking Mara, footage of me opening secure doors. Nothing from the lower level, nothing that mattered. The internet did what the internet does. Some people believed us. Most laughed. A few fashion accounts said the controversy only made Veyra Holt more iconic. 3 days later, her new collection dropped online. It sold out in 7 minutes. The line was called Second Skin. I watched the launch video alone in my sister's apartment. The models stood in a white room wearing pale coats, translucent gloves, hair-woven capes and dresses that moved too naturally beneath the lights. Then the final look appeared. A male model, young, black, high cheekbones, a crescent-shaped mark visible through the sheer panel over his ribs. The caption read, "Look 27, Darius study." My phone slipped out of my hand. That was when Niko called me. He was crying. I'd never heard him cry before. "Bro," he whispered, "I think they followed me home." Then the line went quiet. Not disconnected. Quiet. Like someone had covered the microphone with a glove. The next sound I heard was Veyra Holt's voice, soft, patient, almost loving. "You were never guests, Darius. You were fittings." The call ended. Niko disappeared that night. Police said there were no signs of forced entry. But 2 weeks later, House of Holt released a limited accessory online. A braided gold and black handle attached to a red leather bag. The description said, "Urban texture. Unrepeatable source. One of one." I knew that braid. Niko had dyed the ends of his locks gold the week before the showcase. People online called the bag genius. They called it fearless. They called it alive. And maybe that is the worst part, because they were right. Sometimes when I walk through Soho, I feel people staring at my skin like they are imagining what it could become. Sometimes outside glossy boutiques, I see black cars idling too long. Sometimes my phone lights up with unknown numbers and one-line texts. We still have your measurements. Your tone remains compatible. The line is incomplete. And last night a package arrived with no return address. Inside was a black wristband, same as the one Niko gave me. Under the strip was a tiny printed number, and beneath it, written in silver ink, "Final fitting confirmed,